They're always dressed to impress. MTV couldn't get enough of them. Remember TRL? Anywhere they went, paparazzi followed. This was a different time. Everyone wanted to know what they were going to wear. Puffy's white party, Loved Up, and everyone was like, OMG, they're so cute.
The infamous 1999 shooting outside of a New York City nightclub after an argument broke out that left 3 people injured. Lopez, Combs, and Combs' bodyguard, Anthony Jones, they were actually pursued by police after leaving the scene and were arrested.
We're diving deep into a story that's been gaining a lot of attention lately. The relationship between Jennifer Lopez and Diddy, especially in light of his recent arrest. It seems like the focus isn't just on Diddy's alleged crimes anymore. People are starting to take a closer look at the people around him, and Jennifer Lopez's name keeps popping up. So what really happened between these two, and what might Jennifer have known all along? Let's unravel this story. When Jennifer Lopez and Diddy were together, they were one of the most famous celebrity couples.
When it comes to the arrest and indictment of Sean Diddy Combs on federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges, the discussion, as you can imagine, has moved on to celebrities, right? If the allegations are true, who knew what? Who is being interviewed by the feds? Could any of these high-profile people face criminal charges of their own? Those are fair questions, because after all, Combs is accused of controlling a criminal enterprise that was engaged in the abuse of women, sex trafficking, forced labor, prostitution, the distribution of drugs, an organization that committed crimes like kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction of justice to carry out their goals. So you have to imagine there were people who were part of this and witnessed this. In fact, the government said that they interviewed over 50 witnesses and victims. But there is one name on that celebrity list that is standing out in particular right now. Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo. Why? Well, long before Combs was criminally charged, long before he was hit with multiple lawsuits accusing him of sexual assault, he dated the famous pop star and actress, reportedly from 1999 to 2001.
They had some iconic moments that are still talked about to this day, like Jennifer's legendary Versace dress at the 2000 Grammys, which became a pop culture moment of its own. The two were always seen at high-profile events, and their presence was simply magnetic.
Their first public appearance was September 1999 at the MTV Music Awards, and the following year, when they were together, was where she wore that infamous Versace green dress at the Grammys. The couple were on red carpets together. They went to Combs' famous white party together. Big A-list couple. In fact, there is a photo of them together lying in a white bed with giant pillows, and in another photo, they're in that same bed with other people. And one clip that has actually surfaced recently is of the couple in the show MTV Diaries from 2000. And this is where Combs expressed his dissatisfaction with Lopez having to perform a kiss scene in one of her movies. And she confessed he has a problem with stuff like that. So it was a little odd.
The paparazzi couldn't get enough of them, following their every move. Jennifer often attended Diddy's famous white parties, where celebrities from all over the world would gather. They were undoubtedly a power couple, but despite their glamorous appearances, things weren't always as perfect as they seemed.
They're always dressed to impress. MTV couldn't get enough of them. Remember TRL? Anywhere they went, paparazzi followed. This was a different time. Everyone wanted to know what they were going to wear. Puffy's white party, Loved Up, and everyone was like, OMG, they're so cute. Then December 1999, they go to a party in New York. There are pew-pews involved. They both get arrested. Later, J-Lo was off the hook. I vividly remember people were like, goodness gracious, poor J-Lo, she's with a bad boy, they should break up. But they didn't. They went to the Grammys together. She wore this Versace gown. Everyone lost their minds. They coordinated wearing matching white outfits at the MTV Video Music Awards. Then it came all crashing down. Valentine's Day 2001, they announced they broke up. 7 months later, she married Chris Judd. And then they divorced after 9 months. Diddy and Kim Porter reconciled, although maybe they were seeing each other in between, and Who knows who else he was seeing?
One major turning point in their relationship was the infamous nightclub shooting incident. This situation didn't just shake up Diddy's life, but it also caused a serious rift between Jennifer and her family, particularly with her mum. Jennifer's mother has reportedly been against Diddy ever since that night.
But something else interesting happened. You fast forward to 2015, they'd already broken up. And this is when Jennifer Lopez appeared on the Wendy Williams show back in 2015.
I was telling you that I could always see you getting back with Puffy in a little way.
I remember you said
Yes.
that. Yes.
Or in my mind.
Look at
Or in my mind, getting together permanently with
first of all,
Pitbull.
right, Pitbull, it's crazy. Everybody came alive. They all
Everybody
had something to say.
Yeah, everybody has an opinion.
Yes, it's funny to me.
And then the cameras panned over to Lopez's mom, Guadalupe Lupe Rodriguez, who was in the audience, who has this kind of concerned look on her face, and she seems to mouth, "It's done." Okay.
The incident led to a police chase, and Jennifer was even taken into custody for some time. This association with Diddy's violent past doesn't reflect well on Jennifer, especially now with Diddy facing legal trouble once again. It raises a lot of questions about just how much she knew about Diddy's life behind the scenes.
Now, we can't forget that Lopez and Combs' relationship was marked by one of the biggest controversies of his life. The infamous 1999 shooting outside of a New York City nightclub after an argument broke out that left 3 people injured. Lopez, Combs, and Combs' bodyguard, Anthony Jones, they were actually pursued by police after leaving the scene and were arrested. Stolen gun was found in the car. Lopez was detained for, I believe, 12 hours, but the charges were never pursued against her. Combs, though, Jones, and a man named Shine Barrow, who was a former Bad Boy rapper who was also there that night, they were arrested. They went on trial. Combs was accused of opening fire and then trying to bribe the driver of the car to take the fall for having the gun. Jones and Combs, they were acquitted of gun possession and bribery charges, but Barrow was convicted of assault and reckless endangerment for the shooting, and he was sentenced to 10 years in jail. In fact, Barrow has recently stated that Combs sent him to prison. Yeah, blamed him, said that he called witnesses to testify against him. And by the way, Lopez never showed up to the courthouse. She was named as a potential witness, but never ended up being called to testify.
What's interesting is that when you compare how Diddy treated Jennifer with how he treated other women in his life, such as Cassie and Kim Porter, there's a noticeable difference. Diddy was always more careful and respectful toward Jennifer. Considering Diddy's reputation, it really makes you wonder, what did Jennifer know that made him tread so carefully around her? Maybe she had some leverage, or maybe there was something about her that kept him in check. It's a mystery that only adds to the intrigue of this relationship.
And when J-Lo was around, I used to always just call her Miss Lopez. He would do the flirtation and like have a lot of girls around and then try to play her like that. But, you know, she would check that. And I put in my book one particular night where she was in the we was in the studio and a lot of girls was up there, and J-Lo got, you know, Miss Lopez got mad, and she went home and she put on some jeans and sneakers and put her hair back into a little bun and a ponytail, and she came back to the studio, and Puff had a new song for her because she was heated, and he got rid of all those girls that was in the studio. So he never tried to, you know, straight up, you know, talk to her crazy or anything around people. Never. I never even heard him raise his voice to her.
Even more fascinating is how others saw Jennifer's relationship with Diddy. Comedian Jamie Foxx once mentioned in his show that Jennifer was unhappy with him because he made jokes about her. It's no secret that celebrities are often sensitive to how they're portrayed in the media, but could there have been something deeper behind her reaction? It's clear that Jennifer wanted to keep a certain image, especially when it came to her relationship with Diddy.
Puffy tried to roll up on me. It really wasn't him. I can't blame him. It was actually Jennifer that was mad at me. But he was just trying to come to her, you know, honor or whatever. But, you know, I do jokes. This is my job. And I was doing some jokes on Saturday Night Live about, Puffy and Jennifer, and she got mad. I saw her at the Grammys, and she was upset with me. Now, I know Jennifer from In Living Color. She was the fly girl and everything like that. I'm saying? We go back. I'm saying? I remember before the J-Lo, I remember when it was just, hey, ho. I'm serious. Don't try to front on me. I'm like, hey, ho. I remember before the J-Lo, it was, hey, ho. And she just was real upset with me. But I walked up to her behind the stage at the Grammys. I'm saying, hey, Jennifer, what's up? Psst, psst, psst. She hit me with the beatbox.
After the two broke up, it was surprising how they managed to stay on good terms. During the pandemic, Diddy hosted an Instagram live dance-a-thon, and Jennifer joined him on screen, dancing along as if nothing had ever happened between them. Her then-fiancé, Alex Rodriguez, even joined in.
Let's go.
I probably taught you that.
Where's my boy at? Where's my boy at?
Come over here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
One of the most shocking revelations came from rapper Lil Rod, who claimed that during that infamous nightclub shooting incident, Jennifer Lopez actually carried the gun into the club in her purse and handed it to Diddy. This is a massive claim that, if true, would suggest that Jennifer wasn't as innocent as she seemed. Did she knowingly help Diddy in a crime? And did this action contribute to sending an innocent man to jail to take the fall for Diddy? It's a dark chapter in her life that many people seem to have forgotten, but it's all resurfacing now.
And what's interesting about that is that Lopez and this shooting was referenced recently in one of the civil lawsuits that was filed against Sean Combs. This one is the sexual assault and sex trafficking lawsuit filed by Rodney Little Rod Jones. This is Combs' former producer. And Jones claimed that Combs showed off his guns to him at one point and bragged about shooting people, and that he confessed he was in fact responsible for that 1999 shooting outside of the nightclub. And he claimed that Combs told him that Lopez carried the gun into the club for him and passed the gun to him when he got into that altercation and the shots were fired. Jones claims that Combs forced his then artist Shine to be the fall guy, taking the blame for the shooting. And now all of that brings us to Lopez today. After these charges against Combs, what role could she play? To be clear, she's not listed. She's not mentioned in the indictment in any way or any of the government's letters from the prosecution to the judge where it was regarding bail. His bail has been denied twice, by the way. But there's been no reference, actually, in filings from the government about Jennifer Lopez.
Singer Jaguar Wright pointed out another interesting fact. None of Jennifer's exes seem to be too fond of her, except for Diddy, who only has good things to say. It's an unusual dynamic that raises questions about just how close the two really were and how much Jennifer knew about Diddy's infamous freak-offs, which have reportedly landed him in jail.
She is the perfect example of what happens when you don't want to be yourself. She can't sing, but they got her a microphone and let her pretend.
So let me
She was an okay actress, but she was good at acting. She'd been doing that all her life. J-Lo is just, I don't know. Every man she's been with has said the same thing, except for Diddy. Diddy's the only one that said she was a great girlfriend and how he wish he hadn't messed it up.
Yeah.
How is that the only man in her life that had regrets about their relationship and everybody else ran for the hills? Like, it's not nobody noticing that. That everybody else that's left her, oh, she was too this, she was this, she was that. But Diddy said she was perfect.
Maybe she was meant for the medal.
What happens if you're only perfect for the devil?
God.
What the fuck does that make you?
Damn.
Finally, a former prosecutor shared what kind of information she would seek from Jennifer Lopez if she were building a case against Diddy today. It's clear Jennifer's knowledge and involvement could be pivotal in unraveling the truth about Diddy's alleged crimes.
What information do you think, and I kind of laid out the history, what information could Jennifer Lopez provide to the government that would be useful in their case?
Everything. Like, we know that J-Lo was dating P. Diddy in the late 1990s to 2001, right? We know about the gun incident with the club. What I would want to know if I was a prosecutor sitting down with J-Lo is, when did your relationship start? What did you observe? You were with him for 18 months. You shared a bed with him. You must have seen things. What did you see? And I would want to see if I could get information that would put his activities back to 1999. And then bring it forward, which could make my case twice as strong as it currently is today.
If you're prosecuting this case, do you want it to be a celebrity trial? Do you want all these big names to take the stand to explain what happened with Sean Combs? Is that advantageous to you?
What I'd want is justice for the victims. What I'd want is to know that sex traffickers are caught and that sex workers have a safe place.
So there you have it. Jennifer Lopez's connection to Diddy is far more complicated than anyone could have imagined. From the iconic red carpet moments to nightclub shootings, police chases, and now potential involvement in an ongoing legal case, her story with Diddy is one that raises more questions than answers. That's it for now. Don't forget to tell us what you think in the comments below. For more updates, hit the bell icon.